Board of Directors, the columnist and career to the streets, Real Money, and Action Alerts Plus, and participates in various video segments for the Street TV. Ladies and gentlemen, best-selling author, Cramer.
This is my lightning round if you got here in time. Thank you for coming out. We've had a couple of rough days since the year began. Today I felt was just another day where it wasn't so hot. What I want to do is think a little bigger than just the last few days, even though I know that when you're in the business of doing news, as we are at CNBC, every day seems monumental. I'm walking out today, it's like 5 Below blew up. Holy cow! And then I remember, well, it was really cold, so maybe think 5 Below is historic recreational equipment, like right down the block here in 17. And Sears blew up, but so what? And earlier today, A&F, Abercrombie, reports a really horrible number, but the numbers were so horrible that were predicted. Of course, that stock goes higher. So we're in a market where it's very difficult to figure out minute to minute. However, and I think that I make this point in my book, it's not so hard to figure out year to year. And that's where we have to go to. I'm glad that I can get a chance to speak with you guys because I want to talk about the periodic storms that impact the market like clockwork and how I think you can take advantage of them and buy stocks at the right price. You know, I've been going out talking to a lot of investors because of the book, just because and that's the way I am. I do a lot of call-in radio for the book and it just have been meeting a lot of people, and there's a consensus. And the consensus I don't even think is wrong. The consensus is that it's rigged. The consensus is that it's a crooked game. The consensus is that you can't beat the machines. That you can't beat these guys who have the inside information to keep being indicted by the U.S. Attorney in New York. And the consensus is right. It's right short term, okay? It is not right long term. You can beat everyone in this room because I know it's self-selecting. You would not be here. You would not be in this room if you didn't think you could beat the market or come up with the next Google, okay, come up with the next Apple. You wouldn't be here. So my goal is to try to get it so that you're better if you're like one of the people who tries to handle themselves. Or, of course, always, if you just want to be a better client, I think that's fine too. But I am sympathetic, and I think that those who, when you get through the first 100 pages of the book, you say, oh my God, he feels like I did. He thinks it's crooked too. I think there are crooks. I think that there are ways to deal with the crooks. I think it can be rigged, but there are ways to deal with the rigging for you. I think it's a very scary market when things tend to go down so quickly because the machines break, and I think you can use that too. And I've got a series of methods that I think can make you wealthy, taking advantage and accepting of all that. I think you can find them in Get Rich Carefully. Now, it's been 5 years since I wrote my last book. So many things have changed since then. Probably the most important thing that's changed is that we're in a much better shape economically, but we're not as good a shape politically. We're not united. We are, without a doubt, every single week I keep waiting for another shoe to fall. Right now, the market's become a blue-collar farmer's field. You make hay when the sun shines right now, but there are hidden landmines. And I believe that we are going to have another one. We have the debt crisis that I think is going to come up, the debt ceiling at the end of February. And I write in Get Rich Carefully, I did a series of analyses of every single one of these Washington stories that blows up tends to be something that first we're told won't matter. In other words, because we got through the last shutdown, this new budget debt ceiling problem that's going to come up in February, it won't matter. And as we get closer, people reassure us and reassure us and reassure us. I am telling you, if you hear the banal reassurance that everything's going to be fine, it is not such a bad idea to take something off the table. It's not why I think the market's been weak at the beginning of the year. The market just had such an incredible end of 2013 that it's perfectly reasonable, and anyone who knows my stuff knows that I think it's fine to take some profits. But what I'm talking about is something that has caused a 5 to 8% decline every time it happens. I want you to be ready. I want you to absolutely be ready for that. And the way I think you're going to have to be ready for it is to do some longer-term theme thinking, so that when we do have a problem in Washington, you understand what to buy. Now, this is very important because this is very different from my previous thinking when I last wrote my last book. which was, by the way, I felt that you could get in and get out, you could buy, there were great opportunities, the market really collapsed. We're not in that phase of the market anymore. Now we're in a phase of the market where you can expect that pretty much, like clockwork, again, that something bad will happen and you need themes to buy. So let me go over my themes that I talk about in the book, and you'll know how to capitalize them. The first one, and my absolute favorite, is the holy trinity of tech. Social, mobile, and the cloud. Right now, there's surprisingly few companies that really have a vision for what is really happening in tech in order to be able to succeed. You saw Marissa Mayer the other day at Yahoo talking about how it's got to be mobile. Okay, but are they really mobile? The reason why that stock goes up all the time is they own a big slug of Alibaba. But you need to have a recognition that the old way of doing things, what's known as the client-server way, is gone. And that is because it excludes the on-the-go, tablet-toting, smartphone-utilizing individuals in this room. It's not the way things are done. It's not the way things are done at home or the enterprise. You need a strategy that captures the strength of those devices to do everything on a cloud-based platform. And by the way, that is not a soup-to-nuts offering from EMC, from Cisco, or maybe even Oracle. I mentioned say maybe even because frankly, Oracle had a better quarter than I thought, but it's certainly IBM. And take a look at the stocks that don't do well in tech. You see the same ones. It's EMC, Cisco, and IBM. You know, they had some IBM thing on tonight where we had the Watson versus the Jeopardy guy. You know, they can't make any money on this Watson thing. It's all PR. I want very much to believe in IBM because Warren Buffett's in IBM. But it's not working. EMC's not working. Would they miss the quarter? I think it's